10 of the most unusual dead body discoveries and their stories. Welcome back, Creepshow. Today we've got a chilling lineup for you. Imagine just going about your day minding your own business when you suddenly stumble upon something no one ever wants to find. A dead body. But we're not talking about any ordinary finds. These are some of the most bizarre, mysterious, and downright creepy dead body discoveries that have ever been reported. Each one has a story, some solved, some left hauntingly open-ended. Grab a flashlight, because we're about to dive into the dark and unsettling world of the 10 most unusual dead body discoveries. Let's get started. Number 10. Ruth Strange. On September 4, 2018, Ruth Strange, 92, of Southern California, was discovered dead in her residence on the 6800 block of Vista del Sol Drive in Huntington Beach. The cause of her death was under suspicion. Ruth had become accustomed to locking her gate at a young age, and her neighbors found it odd that it kept opening and closing. The cops were called when someone tried to bring her to the doctor, but she wouldn't answer the door. Ruth was discovered face down and floating in her backyard pool, with little slashes on her head. Given Ruth's age, fragility, and single status, many were shocked to learn that her death was the result of a homicide. Who would want to murder such a helpless, innocent, elderly woman? The result was, to put it mildly, unexpected. After a month-long probe, Cynthia Strange, Ruth's daughter, was identified as a suspect. As it happened, investigators think that the 64-year-old murdered her own mother and left her lifeless, face down, in her own swimming pool for monetary gain, possibly in exchange for a life insurance policy. 9. Raymundo Rivera. The manager of a Winco Foods in Lancaster, California, started to complain about a putrid, foul stench on August 11, 2018. After following the smell to a pillar, a handyman started investigating the pillar to find the source of the repulsive stench that was turning off clients. The handyman dug and soon discovered a man named Raymundo Rivera, whose leg and shoe were already in a state of extreme decomposition. As the handyman opened it, one of the witnesses said that a sticky substance leaked out of the pillar and into the ground. Raymundo Rivera escaped from a police pursuit with law enforcement officers on August 6th, 5 days before the body was discovered, by hiding in the grocery shop. Uncertain of what transpired next, Raymundo Rivera somehow found himself dead inside one of the store's pillars. Number 8. Brian Egg. A 65-year-old San Francisco man named Brian Egg was reported missing in June 2018. Despite 3 knocks on his door, police remained outside his home, armed only with a report of a missing individual. Weeks passed with no fresh leads after police sought the public if they had any information regarding Egg's disappearance. That is, until August 2018, when the neighbors spotted an unfamiliar person entering and leaving the house, as well as police tape surrounding the house. Following a call to police, Robert McCaffrey, the stranger, was taken into custody on suspicion of murder and other offenses. They were able to get a search warrant after the arrest. When they got inside the house, they discovered a body in Brian Egg's fish tank that was deteriorating and headless. Subsequently, identification and investigation proved that the body discovered within Brian Egg's fish tank at his San Francisco residence belonged to him. Following their arrests, Robert McCaffrey and Lance Silva were both charged with murder. 7. Evelyn Rice. Baltimore, Maryland was shocked by a series of strange and horrifying discoveries made on the evening of April 14, 1939. Remains of a young girl who had died just hours earlier were found in 4 different sewers: a right hand, a left leg, and other bits and pieces. At the time, the remains were thought to belong to a teenage female. Then, while investigators hurried to figure out what was going on, a severed head was found in a manhole near Lombard and Wolf Streets. Had a corpse escaped from a mortuary and found its way into the sewage system? Or was this a serial killer's much darker tale? It took weeks for the detectives to finally put the puzzle together. After being detained, Aurelio Tarquino was accused of killing Evelyn Rice, his 30-year-old girlfriend at the time. Police followed Tarquino after learning that he had only reported his whereabouts once the body parts began to float out from the sewers. When a neighbor said that Aurelio had said the police would never find the head, they arrested Aurelio and carried out a search warrant on his property. Evelyn Rice's head was buried in the backyard. The police came to the conclusion that Rice's skull struck the pavement fatally after Tarquino shoved her down a flight of steps. Then he removed her body, cut it to pieces in his basement, and disposed of the pieces, each wrapped in newspaper, in different town drains. Number 6. Aquan Lewis. The discovery of 10-year-old Aquan Lewis's body in a restroom at his neighborhood elementary school in a Chicago suburb was horrifying. A nightmare out of a horror film. The janitor at Oakton Elementary School was notified by some pupils on February 4, 2009, that they had discovered the boy's body hanging in the stall by a coat hook. Aquan's mother finds it difficult to accept that her 10-year-old son would have taken his own life, even years after the horrific finding was determined to be a suicide. Did someone else cause Aquan's death, or was it an accident? The complete truth might never be known by the world. 5. Hervey, Medellin. It's rare to come across something odd, bizarre, or horrifying enough to stop you cold in the bustle and flashing lights of the big metropolis. However, on January 17, 2012, 2 women discovered a decapitated head inside a 99-cents only store plastic bag while out for a stroll with their dogs in Los Angeles, close to the famed Hollywood sign. After racing to the scene, the police and coroner declared it to be a homicide as well as an investigation. The 2 women were terrified when one of the dogs bit them and shook the bag, causing the head to fall out. Hervey, Medellin, a 66-year-old retired airport ticket counter clerk who was surviving off of his pension in his latter years, was recognized as the head of the group. The day after the head was uncovered, investigators discovered a hand and a foot. The roommate and lover of Medellin, Gabriel Campos Martinez, would soon be put on trial and given a 25-year prison sentence as investigators pieced together what had happened. 4. Lake Houston. A little pistol was discovered by volunteer cleanup personnel along the Texas shore of Lake Houston on one fateful day, March 24, 2018. They also discovered a decapitated head in a bag soon after. The volunteer team quickly alerted the police after seeing that the bag had holes punched into it and that enough hair was flowing out to identify it as a woman's head. To gather any leads, the police published a sketch of the lady they think she looked like. Witnesses claim to have seen a man arrive at the scene of the head dump in a blue-green or teal-covered Chevrolet vehicle. The truck's body was generally deformed from being in so many accidents, and it had a shattered window covered by what looked like cardboard. It was also covered in rust. If anyone has any information on the man or the truck, they are urged to come forward by the police. Authorities are currently searching for any information or hints regarding this horrifying discovery that can point to an arrest. Number 3. Calcasieu Lake. At times, apprehending a murderer entails the collaboration of multiple law enforcement agencies to decipher the events and track the trail back to the individual accountable for the offenses under investigation. This may take years at times. Rewind to March 1, 2018, nearly a month before our last post. A group of jail prisoners performing cleaning work 240 kilometers, 150 miles from Lake Houston, found another decapitated skull. In Louisiana, the head was found near Calcasieu Lake. Authorities are collaborating closely to attempt and apprehend the person who is responsible for this head, which was also discovered in a bag close to a lake. Though very little is known about the two ladies and no leads are available, there's a strong suspicion that these atrocities were done by the same person. Number 2. Betty Williams. In 2010, Betty Williams was a 28-year-old resident of New York City's Bronx. An abandoned suitcase was found on an East Harlem street corner at 12:15 a.m. on a late December evening. When the onlooker who made the discovery opened the luggage, he saw a human leg fall out and saw the blood that was streaming from it. They rushed to a nearby eatery at this moment and dialed 911. Naturally, the suitcase's contents revealed to be Betty Williams' lifeless body. During their investigation, the police discovered some surveillance film that had been taken not far from the location where the luggage had been discovered. A woman wearing winter attire is shown in an ominous video they uploaded, lowering the luggage out of view. Career con Hassan Malik, who was thought to be at fault, was eventually apprehended and put on trial for Betty Williams' death. While freely acknowledging that he killed Williams, Malik maintained that it was in self-defense. The authorities did not accept it, and Malik was accused of being responsible for Williams' death. Number 1. Jason Daniel Garcia. Early in September 2017, a man in Ontario, California, discovered an abandoned refrigerator in the middle of the roadway while traveling to work at 6 in the morning. Without giving it any thought, the man pulled over to check the refrigerator, but when he opened it, he was in for a major shock. Within was the seemingly tranquil remains of a man by the name of Jason Daniel Garcia. Garcia, who was 36 years old, was from Downey, which is located just southeast of Los Angeles. This was a strange discovery, not only because you don't find a dead body in a refrigerator left out on the street, but also because Garcia was a devout family man who wasn't involved in drugs or crime and had a large extended family that he loved and spent a lot of time with. Police were able to track down a local business's CCTV footage that showed a truck with a light color dropping off the refrigerator in the street. Later, the police stopped the truck and seized it, but they did not make any arrest in this instance. And there you have it, Creepshow. 10 bone-chilling cases of the most unusual dead body discoveries that left people in shock, and in some cases, searching for answers that may never come. Whether it's finding remains in the most unexpected places or uncovering the dark secrets of these victim stories, these cases remind us just how strange and unpredictable the world can be. If you're intrigued by more tales from the unknown, make sure to hit that subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. Let me know in the comments which story gave you the biggest chills. Until next time, stay curious, stay safe, and remember, you never know what you might stumble upon.